Hey there, good morning, Bootstrappers. This is Ryan Nickel with another day in the life of a Bootstrap Real Estate Investor, coming at you with episode number 135. All right, so stress. That is something that I am very familiar with, and frankly, I think all of us are. Being a real estate investor comes with its own challenges, and it's causes a lot of stress in our lives. Not to brag, because I never want to brag about stress. I mean, I think that's retarded, but just to give you an idea of the kind of stress that, that I feel, and, everyone's stress is different. I'm heading to court this morning. That's why I'm dressed so dapper-like. And, I'm on my way to court, and it's eviction court. I have a tenant that has not been paying, and I filed for an unlawful detainer, and she responded with an answer, and so we have court today. This is my first time going, so I do not know what to expect. She might show, she might not. Don't know what the judge is going to say. I've heard that this particular court is extremely difficult to work with because they force you into mediation beforehand, and then if you don't come to an agreement in mediation, the judge or the commissioner is perturbed, because he has to actually sit and weigh in on a situation. So again, I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I've heard. So I got the stress of an unknown situation. I don't know. I've prepared to the best of my ability, but even then, I still feel like I'm under stress from it. I have properties in South Carolina and in Georgia that are in the wake of Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Jose, if he decides to make landfall up that far north. So I got the stress of those properties and my tenants and their concern about whether or not I have adequate insurance on my property, because these are rent-to-own properties, so I still have insurance in my name. I'm still on title because these are actually lease options. They have not exercised it yet. It does suck, Jermaine, dude. It totally sucks sometimes, man. It's just part of life is how do you deal with it. So I got those issues. Then I got on one of my properties in South Carolina. I had received a notice that my escrows were I was under my escrows, and so the mortgage lender has decided to hit me with a repayment plan of $800 increase. And so I'm like, wow. So not only do I have the properties in South Carolina, but now I got the increase of $800 a month with that mortgage lender. So I'm in the process of attempting to work out a payment solution that's more affordable and can accommodate not only my budget, but the budget of those whom are actually buying the house from me. I believe I have that one, relatively, got a grasp on that. I got a property here in California that I'm actually defending the foreclosure on in court now. And so I got the stress of that. I also have a brand new tenant, not one that already hasn't been paying, but another new tenant that now is not paying. So on my rental aspect, my rent-to-owns, I love those guys. They are amazing. They pay on time. They are a dream to work with. But my renters, on the other hand, have been a bit of a challenge. Part of that, actually I'd say all of that, falls squarely on me in the way that I have screened them and put them into my properties. These are old tenants that, looking back, I realized the mistake that I made. But anyway, here I am. So I have a tenant that is not paying. So I got all of this stress. And how do you deal with it? So sometimes people want to drink, people want to sedate themselves. They want to ignore their family and go binge Netflix or something like that. They turn to porn, they turn to drugs, they do all kinds of crap that it just, all it is just the Band-Aid, and it's self-medicating, and it's avoiding the responsibility that's there. And I learned this a while back. I'm not superhuman or anything like this, but what I learned is that you can't compound the past and you can't compound the future. All you got to do is just live in the present. And so what happens is, and this is where my stress is, comes from, is I forget this lesson. I look at it like, crap, you know what, I have all this stuff going on, you know, these past things that had happened, and I start thinking about all of that. But mostly I'm thinking about the future here. I'm like, okay, what if Hurricane Irma destroys my properties? What if my insurance is not enough on those properties? What if, you know, all these what if situations, and man, it just stresses the heck out of me. It's like where I'm like, just like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to be in real estate anymore. Sell everything, you know, give up. And it's all this what if is that which causes this anxiety and this stress to compound itself. And it's like, you know what, all I can do is live one day at a time. I'm a God-fearing man. I believe in God, and all I can do is just say, you know what, I'm going to trust in Him, and I'm going to do the very best that I can. And when I do that, I feel a little bit of peace. I feel like, okay, I can let this stuff go, and it helps out. It helps tremendously, and I'm able to, you know, quiet my mind and to get insight and inspiration about like what I need to do. So, you know, actually this morning when I was meditating, I actually, you know, one part of the things that I do is I journal. And I'm sitting there and I'm journaling and I'm asking God, I'm like, please help me. You know, this is, you know, I'm stressing out with all these unforeseen things. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden the thought came to me, was like, increase your insurance on one of my properties. And I'm like, you know what? I do have inadequate insurance on one of them. I have flood insurance on both of my properties in South Carolina, not the one in Georgia, but one of them in South Carolina, I'm only covered up to, I think like $115,000, and my note or my mortgage on it is $193,000. So I'm like, you know what? I actually need to increase my insurance coverage on this property, because God forbid that something does happen to that property, I'm underwater still on my coverage, and there's no reason for that. My coverage should cover parcel. I could. It's like I was saying, it's a 5-acre parcel. I could easily split it, and you know, put 2 separate houses on it if you know push came to shove, if the house were completely destroyed, and that's, you know, definitely doable. So anyway, that's, you know, what happens. So instead of me fearing about the future, good morning, Caroline, and instead of me, you know, fearing about the future, I can sit here and go, okay, what can I do today in the present moment? You know, and here I am. I'm going to court. I don't know what to expect. All I can do is I've already determined, regardless of how my past conversations have gone with this tenant of mine, I'm not going to sit there and, you know, be a jerk to her. I'm going to be very cordial. I'm going to say, you know, hey, good morning, all this stuff, and I'll be, you know, friendly, but I'm also not going to, you know, lay down and allow myself to be taken advantage of. But I have no reason to be mad or angry or condescending. And that's just me being in the present. And so it all comes down to is like, how do you deal with the stress? Stop focusing on the past. Stop focusing on all the what ifs that you cannot control in the future, and just live in the present moment. And you'll be able to find your way through it. And that, you know, has been what has been my, I don't want to say like the secret to my success, but it has been one of the things that has helped to alleviate and reduce a lot of stress in my life when it comes to real estate. And it's always been, okay, what can I do right now today to move myself forward to get past this obstacle? There's a great book out there by Ryan Holiday called The Obstacle is the Way. And he has several different, you know, anecdotes in this book that just say, hey, you know what? These great men in the past have always made it through their challenges by going straight through them. Face them head on, and you'll find the opportunity and the solution in being able to push through it. So anyway, that's what I got for you today. I'm on my way to court. I'm driving here right now, and we'll see how things go. All right, I'm Ryan Nickel, and you all have a great day.